Hi, this is Sharon from craftyandcreativeideas.blogspot.com. I'm here today to bring you another Wow That's Cool video from my series. This one is going to be called the I Believe in Santa Claus card. Isn't this just adorable? It's so cute. I actually made this collar from the Hearts Framelits. Hard to believe that, huh? But anyways, I'm going to show you what to do with this. It's just a fun, fast little card that you're going to enjoy making this one. I started this card out by taking a 4 1/4 by 11 card base. And what I did with that was I scored it at 5 1/2, so I make a top folding card. Okay. And then I took a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 real red cardstock, and I adhered that. Let me get a little bit of tape on there. Okay, so we're going to apply snail onto that. Oops. When you don't want it to stick, that's when it does. Okay. Then, what I did for my inside, I took a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I stamped that with the Christmas Messages stamp set from Stampin' Up. And the saying I used was wishing Christmas, cheer, and a happy new year. Really, I have used this. This is probably my favorite Christmas set this year. I have just used this with just about every card that I've made, but I really like that one. And I reused an old ticket corner punch to just finish off my edges, and then I just put some snail on that and adhered that to the center of the card. Then what I did was I had taken a piece of white, Whisper White cardstock, and I used my Framelit set from my Hearts collection, and I used the largest Framelit in the pack. And what I did was I had taken a 5 1/2 by 2 inch piece of paper. Okay, and I laid my Framelit on there and cut it out like so. And then what I did was I had taken after I had cut that out, I turned this over, and actually I just screwed this up, but I already have these marks, so that's okay. What I did before the red cardstock was on there, and I had actually measured the width of the cardstock and made a marking on here, so then I could just snip this off on the edges so that it'll match the width of the red layer of the card. So then you end up with this, and that's for the collar. And what I did was I have already prepared the Stamp-a-ma-jig ahead of time. And for those of you who have never used a Stamp-a-ma-jig, oh, and I also took and I measured from this point to here and made it 1 3/4 inch, and then I cut all the excess off. So this would just end up 1 3/4 inches from the scallop to the top of this. And I already prepared the Stamp-a-ma-jig to save time on the video because my videos just get so long sometimes. So I've already stamped on my Stamp-a-ma-jig. For those of you who have never used the Stamp-a-ma-jig, it's one of the tools that I tell you, once you start to get used to it, you will use it for almost every project that you have. You line your Stamp-a-ma-jig up in the corner and just pretend that this lettering was not there or that. You ink up your stamp pad, and then you put this up into the corner and you stamp it onto this clear portion of the Stamp-a-ma-jig. Okay. Then we take the collar, and you're going to lay this clear piece and position it exactly where it would be centered on your collar. then you're going to take your Stazon ink. Let me just ink up my pad again here, my stamp. Okay, so we take our Stazon ink, and now we're going to, once we've got this here, we'll put our Stamp-a-ma-jig back on to the paper, lining it back up again with the edges of this clear part from the Stamp-a-ma-jig. Okay, once you get it in position, then you remove the clear piece without removing the Stamp-a-ma-jig. Then you put your block back up in the corner and stamp onto your paper, and then you end up getting that exactly where you want it lined up on that paper. Okay, so now that we have that done, I took a sponge and I used Smoky Slate Ink, and what I did was I took and I inked the edges all the way around on the collar. And then also the front piece jacket, which I had cut at 1.5 by 4 1/4, I also inked that and sponged the edges with the Smoky Slate. This is such a nice soft gray. It just gives this white paper a little bit of dimension on his jacket. Okay. Then I took my card back again, and I had taken a piece of black paper, and which I measured. This was 4 inches by 1 3/8. It's going to be for his belt. And I had also cut out a 1-inch piece with my 1-inch punch of black. Okay. Then I had taken my collar, and first I put my collar on. So I'm going to put a little snail on that. And I just put the collar loosely at the top. And I didn't press down too hard yet with it. And then I took a little snail on my white strip, which is the front of his jacket. And then I put this underneath till I could line this up with the bottom of the card, the bottom of the red layer. Gosh, you're not even seeing this in the camera. Hold on one second. The bottom of the red layer. And then I pressed it underneath the collar, and then adhered the whole thing. Then I took my belt and I used a little snail on that. And I placed that on the card. A little bit low on the card here. Then I took my glitter paper, which was a 1 3/8 inch that I had punched out with a 1 3/8 punch. I put dimensionals on the back of that, which I did ahead of time to save time here. And I placed that in the center of the belt. And then I took my 1-inch piece, and all of this was embossed. These 2 black pieces were embossed with, forgot to tell you that, with my Lattice, if I could find it here, my Lattice embossing folder from Stampin' Up. And all these supplies will be on my blog. And then I placed this 1 inch into the center of the glimmer paper. with, and I had put glue dots on the bottom of that before I started taping here. It's best to put the glimmer paper on with the dimensionals because it sticks better. And also, I tried adhesive on this and it does not stick to the glimmer paper, so you need to actually adhere that with the glue dots and then it'll stick for you. Then all I did was I took two, these were gems that I had just found. They were little black gems that I had found, and I just love them. They look like little black tuxedo buttons. And I put those on the card with glue dots. Once again. Oh, my glue dot is stuck to the wrong side of the gem, because unfortunately these little gems didn't come with glue on the back of them. So I put those, and then I just took a little 3mm gem from Stampin' Up. It's the little rhinestone gem. Oops, I got two of them here. And I put that inside the circle where there's the E, there's a big swirl on the end, and I put that little gem just inside that portion of the card. And there you go. I believe in Santa Claus. Cute little card. Thank you for watching. Any of the directions, supplies, anything that you need, you can find on my blog, as always, at craftyandcreativeideas.blogspot.com. And thank you again for watching one of my That's Cool videos. Hope to see you soon. God bless.